All right. Hello there. How are you? We're going to talk today. Hey, everybody. Let's, okay. Let's remove this. Hi, hi, hi. Hey, everyone. Good morning to you. Oh, happy Wednesday to everybody. Happy Wednesday. We're going to talk about a conversation that I think need to be discussed. And you know why? Into you. All right. You know why? Because a lot of you are not doing this. You're not staying in business with the mindset of persevering. You're stopping and starting. You're not having any encouraging or motivation to stay in business because you think that maybe when the road gets tough or when something happens and you're not prepared. But the reason why you having these issues, we're going to talk about them. Okay. All right. All right. Any questions? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Okay. Hey, how are you doing? All right. So let's begin and let you know who I am. I'm Sandy. Yes, I've been in the world of it's been tax season for me. Okay, so I haven't been on live and I haven't been doing a whole lot of business lives, but I've been working behind the scenes for a minute or two. Okay, so now since the season is over for me in that arena, we're going to get back into doing things with our businesses and how to stay in business. That's the topic that we're going to talk about today. How to stay in business. Now, a lot of you may have started a LLC, started your business, started working on and accumulating, just gathering things to do good in business. But there are some key things that I just think that if you keep the momentum going with these, you will be able to stay in business a long time. Okay, so wouldn't you want to stay in business a long time? You don't want to just be in business and then be struggling in business. Yeah, so I know a little something for what I'm talking about because I've been in business for a long time. I had my first business and actually stepped out on faith in 2006 for as a business. I was in the salon industry and I always would rent a booth, things like that. But I'm talking about embarking on the business aspect of it. Business look a little different than someone, you're just renting a space somewhere or you're just, you know, doing something like that. You're not taking the full responsibility of that business and growing it in the day-to-day things that you have to do when you are in business. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to discuss that this morning. And this is going to be a long, this is going to be a long conversation versus over a few different parts to it. It's going to be not only one day. So if I'm looking down a little bit, I'm looking at my other screen. I got me a little different setup so where I can keep my focus straight ahead of me. I've been creative and came up with another idea. So I'm on multiple platforms here on the StreamYard and others too as well. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. All right. And then if not, you can join the community or find out how you can be a part of pushing the dream. Okay. Push the dream. That's what it is. But I say pushing the dream because we got to take action. We can't just sit on the sidelines and thinking things are going to manifest for us and things are going to happen for us or things are just going to fall into our lap. We got to do something about them. Right. Okay, now some of the things that I think that most of you are my business owners or my new up and coming business, entrepreneurs and business owners. Definitely this is going to be for you too. If you're fresh to the business world, you can't pass this up because this is something you need to hear as well. Now, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a few things. And a few of them are one of them is knowing your numbers. Let's talk about that because I think if you are a king or if you are focused on knowing what you're bringing into your business, and then sometimes I think that we are afraid to know these things because we feel that, oh, I'm not where I want to be. But listen, you have to face it head on. Okay. face it head on. The number one thing that you must do in business is know your numbers. Knowing the numbers of sales that you have, knowing how much it's going to cost you to produce something, whether it's going to be a physical product or it's going to be something you're going to charge hourly with for the service that you produce for someone or the outcome that you're going to give them. It all boils down to knowing your numbers, okay? That is not optional, it's not negotiable. You got to know these numbers, and these numbers will give you a real-time story of what's going on. Let's say, for instance, what do you mean by knowing your numbers? I'm going to tell you. Knowing the numbers of your sales, knowing your numbers of, even if you're running social media campaigns, or just like I'm on this live here, I'm on different platforms. What I do is later I'll go back and I'll see how many impressions that I've had. Impressions is how many people came through and watched the video. That's what that means. And how many people actually clicked on, if clicked on my website. I have all of those. I can see all of that behind the scene. I can see, okay, I did a video today. So did anybody click? Did anybody click on my website? Did anybody click anything within my website? You can, those are your back office, and that's your back office information. So that's what I mean when I say knowing your numbers. And now let's say, for instance, if I was on here asking you to go somewhere and I was working on selling you a product. Well, I would go and see, was that particular product clicked on? How many times was it clicked? How many people purchased it, or what did they look and didn't purchase, or did they, glance, and what is the behavior of your buyer? And that's basically that's what that'll tell you. Okay. So that's a part of knowing your numbers. That's it. It's no matter whatever you're selling, you ought to set up metrics so you can determine and you can know these particular things. You can know these numbers, because it is so important, people, for you to know your numbers. Absolutely, positively, very important. Highly, highly recommend that you do that. And so that's just one thing. Now let's talk about, shaking y'all over here. Let's talk about something else. Okay. Market every day. If you're going to stay in business, if you're going to be in business for a long time, you're going to have to just do some marketing every day. Now, what does that look like? Does that mean physically you're going to have to market yourself every day? No, you ought to have some automation set up somewhere. You ought to have your product set up with automation. You ought to have anything, your freebie or your funnel set up with automation. You ought to have all of these things. Hey there. Let me see. Oh, well, thank you. So you ought to have those things set up in a way that they would be on automation for you, automatic. Okay. So once you get a few sales, you don't need to stop. That's a continuous basis. You need to do whatever you did to get those few sales. Then you do that to continue to get more sales. Don't get so happy and just stop and say, oh, I got some sales and I'm just going to let this thing do its own thing. No, invest back into your business. If you have a 9 to 5, take a portion, or, decide on how much you're going to use to grow your business, or how much you're going to use to put on ads, or just a small amount. Sometimes you can start small and grow, eventually gradually increase those things. So you want to every day be marketing your business, just like this is launch day and you're so excited and you got that momentum going because you want to introduce your product or your service to the world. That's what you have to do every day, every single day. And whether, like I said, and whether it's having something on automation, whether it's having something that's going to be, that you're going to just keep continuously going, and you're going to set it and forget about it, or set it for a few weeks and then come back and just see what it's doing, how it's performing, and those kind of things, right? Now, the next thing I think you need to be doing, and it's going to be very important for you to grow your business, is you got to know a problem and solve it. Finding out what, first of all, if you're in business, you have already determined your niche. Once you are sure and you are 100% just like, I know my niche, I know it like I know, like I know it, like I know it, you will then see what's the problem in your industry and start solving those problems with, your marketing, your content, knowing your numbers, looking at other numbers and looking at things that's going on around you. So you have a lot to do in your business. And that is why a lot of businesses are not being sustained, because you just forget about, you do the minimum and you just forget about them. Can't do that. You can't do that. You can't forget about your business. You got to constantly be innovative. You got to constantly, if you can't be innovative, you got to hire somebody that can be innovative for you and learn these things, and you got to just keep going. Okay. And for those of you that are coming in, I am talking about, how do you stay in business? Too many of you are not staying in business. I don't care what your new president think he's trying to do. You have got to be creative. If you're in business, you have some kind of creativity going on in your world. So you need to what? You need to activate that creativity, and you need to continue to doing what you did every day. You need to be getting better and better and better at your business, and your business needs to be growing and growing and growing with your confidence in, I can do this. Okay. Be confident. Be confident in what you got going on. Don't allow anyone to tell you that you can't do it. You can. You just got to do some different things. You can't walk into new territory thinking that you can just be mediocre. You can't. It's not going to work. All right. And I'm not trying to be negative Nancy, and I'm not trying to be negative at all, but it is the reality of it all. So if your product or service is not solving a problem, people are not going to purchase it. All right. People like to get their problem solved. All right. All right. Do. Okay. Okay. Now, another thing I know that you need to do in order to help those businesses grow is, you have got to change. You've got to change with the times. The times are not going to be stagnant like you are. Times are moving, especially technology, especially these social media platforms, especially these things called algorithms and things. And then that goes back to knowing your numbers. So when you are changing with the times, continue to look. Oh, yeah, it is. That's right. That is so true. It is exactly right. You are right. Okay, now let me continue on to talk about this change thing. Now, your customers change. They have things going in their lives that you may not understand or know about. And this is why, like I said earlier, you got to market every day. Marketing is very important. You got to market like you just launching something. And when you are marketing, you will know what's going on, what's changing with your customer, because that is a part of you marketing. Okay. Your marketing is just compiled of the different things and learning. It's so much, it's a science behind it all, people. But yes, but if you are really paying attention and doing these things like the marketing and then knowing your numbers, you're going to see the change right there. So it's going to help you there. I'm telling y'all, this will help you stay in business. Yes, it will. It will help you stay in business. Now, and then also, you got to always be growing. You can never sleep on your business. And if you want to just double dutch this thing and just pick your business up twice a week, nah, it will not happen. Thanks for the hearts. I see the hearts over here in TikTok. Thank you. You will not make it in business. So that has to change. So decide and make up in your mind, are you going to do some of these things we're talking about? Yes. Okay. So the next thing is how to stay in business. And this is so important. All of it is important. But how to have a lasting and a long-term relationship with your clients, and how to have business for a long term with your customers and your clients. Build the relationships. When I was doing taxes, I was working with this company. I really enjoy, and I'm gonna work with them again next season too as well. As a matter of fact, we're going to get ready to do some projects in a few months. We're getting ready to do some more projects together. Guess what? You got to build a relationship. You have to build a relationship. Don't let your customers be transactional or transaction for you. If you do, then they won't purchase, because people work hard for their money and they are not going to spend their money where they're not celebrated and appreciated. So that's another thing. If you are not creative to show customer appreciation, then get someone on your team that can have that creativity and let it flow, let it flow, let it go and let it flow for you. So you can be able to you can be able to have a little, have someone on your team to have a little bit more, have some fresh ideas in your business and on your team. So you got to learn how to do that too as well. Okay, you definitely have to learn how to do that. Now, I'm gonna recap what I said, and this is just the beginning. We'll be talking about this more. I'm here to not give you any BS, and I'm here to help you get your whole life together in business. Okay, whether it be through whatever avenue you want to, we'll be going over. We'll still be touching on. I'll be, keeping my eyes on the pulse of what's new coming down the pipe. And like I said to you earlier in the year, I want this year for you to be unrecognizable. We're just in April. We have time. We still have time. Okay. We still have time. Yep, sure am. Yes. Yes, you should be of yours as well, Damo. No, you think that. I know it. I know it. You think that. You thinking it and I know it. How about that? So go on somewhere and troll and get off my page. Get off my page before you get blocked. All right. But anyway, have trolls all the time. So yeah. So now the next thing I do want to talk to you about is summing all of this up first before we tried to get a little distraction. Oh boy. I am. How about you? Yeah. You so rude. You're coming on my platform and you're spewing your negativity. You're the one that's rude. No, you won't. You can never hurt my feelings. You don't have another. No. You don't even have enough. Let me go ahead, cause you help you out of your misery. Cause you are really getting on my nerve. Get out of here. Go somewhere. There you go. All right. There we go. We got rid of that. Okay. Now, because one thing I do know, everybody, we have choices, right? We can take it or leave it, right? We don't have to put up with anything in life that is not pleasing to us. So you see how I just blessed him and let him go on by his way. He was trolling. So anyway, let's go back over I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go recap on everything. Know your numbers, how to stay in business. This is what we're talking about. Know your numbers. Market like you are just launching your business and then solving a real problem. You got to solve problems in business. Always, always, always. That is the only way that you will grow. The only entire, if you think about it, every business out there is solving some kind of problem, whether it's solving a boring problem, because a lot of entertainment, you're solving someone's boring problem. They're bored and whatever. And so you're just giving them something to laugh about, or, whatever. So that's entertainment, so the simplest thing, if a problem is solved and in the entertainment industry, in the business, they're great businesses, if you notice. So I'm just using that as an example. So anyway, you are to adapt to change. That's another thing. We are recapping right now. You're adapting to change and then building solid relationships. So those are just 5 today that I want to share with you on how to stay in business. And once you do those things and once you do them, you will flourish in your business. So then you won't have to be defeated and saying, oh, wow, I started this business. I've wasted my money. No, you won't waste your money in anything that you do. You're not, it won't be in vain, people. You have to do more. You have to push yourself on to another level, or to different heights when you're in business. And you have to keep your always daily, just you have to be organized. You have to stay organized. You have to create systems that's going to help you be more productive, whether it's hiring someone, whether it's contracting some work out to someone, whether it's, really buckling down and getting keenly focused on what you want to do. So there's so many good things that can come out of you just being a little bit better at growing and being a little bit better at focusing on what you need to do to grow your business, no matter what kind it is. No, it doesn't matter. And if you see where you don't understand something in your business, and rather than spending a whole lot of time on trying to learn something with the learning curve, while you're trying to learn it, then here again, that time may just go on by. So you have to adapt to change really quickly because things are just changing so much. Then you need to either hire someone or contract something out, or pass it on to somebody that has an expertise in that area of where you want to go. So that's what I'm talking about in that arena. Okay. So this is all that I wanted to just share with you this morning, and I will be talking to you later. Go over to the website and see be a part of the family, see what's going on there, because I will be updating some things, and then I will be also having some private, sometimes I will send out a text message to my community, and then we'll get on a live Zoom and we'll go over different things like that. So if you are serious about your way in life with your business, reach out to me on Biz Strategist Sandy. And if not, then just go ahead and view some of my content that I already have out there to help you get to the next level. How about that? All right. Okay. Well, I enjoyed talking to you today, and I hope that you learned something about how to stay in business. Okay. See you guys on tomorrow. All right. Have a good day. Bye bye. Be good. Bye. Hey. Marketing is the main career. Yes, we should your customers or they will die. Yes, sir. All right, Maurice. Okay, Maurice was on live with me here. Hey, Maurice. Okay. Hey, Maurice. All right. Maurice was on live. Don't know whether you're still on live or not, but hey, I enjoyed your commentary. All right. I see y'all later. Y'all have a good morning. Bye bye.